I've got to make it, man. If I don't make this train, I'm f***ed. Come on. Right, so I found out that I'm going to actually have an interview. Whoa, that version of me was taking way too long to explain this story, and since this is already turning out to be the longest film I've ever made, here it is in short. My name's Patrick, I'm a filmmaker. Today's Friday, and I've just found out that I've got an interview with the Polish Prime Minister on Sunday. I haven't got very long to prepare, I don't really know a huge amount about what we're going to be talking about, and this is the documentary of how it went down. Along the way, I discovered something new about the country I love, and something new about myself as a father, but we'll get to that in a second. So I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to work hard in the next 48 hours, or however long I've got, and I'm going to make sure I basically do the best possible job I can, and that's all you can ever ask of yourself. So, are we going to do this? Yes, of course we can. Pow! Right, so yesterday went quite well. I mapped out on my new lovely whiteboard the whole of my VIP guests' kind of timeline and biography throughout the period we're going to discuss, which is mostly the 80s, tomorrow. So I've only got today really left, and I'm going to do a lot more background reading basically on Solidarność Walcząca and Solidarność. But I don't know how I always manage to do this, but every time I've got like a big task to do, I always become so fascinated in cleaning my room. So it's Saturday evening. It's now about 8 PM, and tomorrow at 1 PM I'm going to have the interview with the Prime Minister of Poland. I've spent literally all day, other than looking after my daughter, my second daughter, reading online, reading books. This book is amazing, and as always with these kind of experiences, just something like, I can't believe how little I knew about everything these people went through. So just the learning alone from this interview has been absolutely awesome. Alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels. Alive, oh. Let me tell you, this is definitely what you do not need to be dealing with the night before one of the biggest moments of your professional and journalistic career. Anyway, you don't want to hear this, and frankly speaking, neither do I. Alive, oh. Alive, oh. Now I'm going to stop lying to you, because the truth is, I was torn up inside when I recorded that. I was supposed to spend the weekend with the kids, but the minute this opportunity came up, I just dropped all of that to focus on this. And everything, every achievement, every work thing seems so important, but I'm wondering to myself, what's the price I'm paying for it? Okay, so it's midnight and I can't sleep. I don't know if it's tension or possibly the quite strong cup of tea I had about 7 PM in the evening. It's kind of annoying now because I really need to be fresh for tomorrow. So, got myself a little bit of Paddy's homegrown medicine for sleep. Trust me, dude, this ain't no apple juice. Could really do with going to sleep soon. Anyway, down the hatch. Right, today's the day. No excuses now. Got no choice either. We're gonna have to do this.
It's around about now as I'm eating my egg sandwich. I look at the clock and I start thinking to myself, I haven't really got that long till I need to get to that train. Yeah, I'm late. So what do? Well, instead of hurrying up, I decide to do this really badly filmed, time-consuming packing sequence.
Right, so I'm late, but on the plus side, at least it's snowing, so that actually slows me down, so that's no good either. I've got to get that train. It's at 8:50. It's in 44 minutes. I've got to make it, man. If I don't make this train, I'm f***ed.
So, of course, I did make it onto the train, otherwise this story would have just ended with me curled up in a ball crying my eyes out, and nobody really wants to see that, I think. But I didn't know I was going to make it at the time. So when I sat down on the train, I felt real relief. But also felt how completely covered I was in sweat, and how completely out of focus I was too.
As the train quietened down, we all fell into that typical rhythm you get on a train journey.
And whilst I had 2 hours on the train to reread my notes, I was looking at the pages, but I wasn't really reading them. It was way too late for any of that.
Instead, I found myself looking out of the window and reflecting once again on the country that I hold so close to my heart, that I love so dearly. And I felt this peculiar feeling, which I've had so many times, that I was here on a mission. I wish I could say what the mission was, but this felt like it was a small part of it. And then as the train pulled into the station, somebody caught my eye.
So had a really funny situation there. Just as we were getting ready to come off the train, I could see this young, very pretty girl just completely in tears. And I kind of like immediately felt very sorry for her. And she went to the toilet, obviously, to sort of clear herself up. I was like, oh man, I really wanted to just give her a hug or something. So I left a little note in her bag that she left on a chair saying, it's going to be okay, whatever's bothering you, it's going to be okay. The fundamental foundation of life is love, and people love you. And it's like, it's so freaky life, isn't it? Here I am, 8 years ago, I'd never even really spoken a sentence of Polish, and I'm about to interview the Prime Minister. And there's that girl who we'll never see again, having looked like one of the worst days of her life. And I hope I've made her life a little bit better. And I really believe that is true. Love is the basis of life. I'm super emotional today, I really am. I've arrived at Katowice. I need to go for a tinkle because I've drunk too much water. Definitely could do with something to eat. And I need to go and basically meet the Prime Minister's team, who are they going to be on there on site. So plenty to do. Let's go. Okay, so we're in the museum for the Wojek mine. And luckily this place is going to be closed, and this is where we're going to do the interview. So I'm just going to show you, probably this perspective is going to be best. But if I had a choice, if this room was a little bit better for filming, I'd have it here, because these are the faces of the 9 men. In the case of one of them, he was 19 years old, who's just a boy who was shot dead not too far from where we are here. And I've been super emotional the last 2 days as I've discovered about this. What a privilege it is. It's like life, everything. I'm getting too emotional. I've got to interview the Prime Minister in an hour, but try and keep calm relative. But the truth of the matter is, it's not an easy thing to do. And if you think that these politicians, when they're standing up there, or anyone frankly who has to go through these ceremonies, just like, oh, whatever, they're just thinking about the shopping list, it's not true. This is tough, because these people, these men they had families, and they don't get to go home to their families. And as hard as it is to be away from my daughters and my wife now, I always think to myself, like, for this kind of stuff, it's okay, because this is just another little brick in the wall to giving these men a little bit of voice. They don't get forgotten, their story doesn't get forgotten. And that's really what I care most about right now.
So I'm going to try and do my best by then.
Panie premierze, ile razy pan był katowany i bity?
To akurat chyba pierwszy pan mi zadaje takie pytanie, jeśli dobrze wspominam.
Pan był przekonany, że to już jest koniec?
Liczyłem się z tym, że to może być koniec.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am after the interview and let's go and find out from a completely objective person. Kuba, the master director of photography. How did that go? How did it go, Kuba?
Seamlessly.
Seamlessly. I thought he was going to say another word beginning with S there. The guys got here on time. I think the interview went well because the Prime Minister was super open about the things that he did as a teenager, the things he experienced as a teenager, which I was genuinely shocked by. I had no idea that the Prime Minister of this country had gone through those things. I'm sure we could have talked for another hour or two. Unfortunately, I only had about 15-20 minutes with him, but that's absolutely fine because he said a lot of things today for the first time that he's never talked about in public. So we're going to go to a restaurant. I could really do with a small libation, a little beer, and we're going to start editing because we want to put it out today. Why not? Hot off the presses.
Right, that was pretty chaotic. It's time to go to the metro. Fortunately this time I don't need to rush. Go home, go see the kids, go see the missus. How many times am I going to say that I'm going home?
And as I came home through the snow and in the dark, I thought to myself, maybe there is a point to going away, because it's the only real way that I can understand what's truly important to me. Maybe I need that obsession with work and achievements because it's only by doing them I can understand what truly matters, which is family and love. That's all I ever need in my life.
Yeah, they've locked the door. Locked out. Both of them are crying. Oh God. That's the 6-week-old crying, and that's the 2.5-year-old crying. Which door do you pick? Which door?
But the next day, we got to have fun.